I 25F need help navigating how to get out an abusive relationship with my 23M husband. Hi everyone, I'm 25F, in a really difficult situation and could use some advice. I've been with my husband, 23M, for 6 years, but I no longer feel safe or trust him. I'm a survivor of rape and abuse, and recently, he's been touching me sexually in my sleep, claiming he was asleep and didn't know what he was doing. One night, after I startled him, he shoved me, then came at me a second time, grabbed my throat, and said, "Never to fucking do that again." It hurt so badly the next day. I brought up divorce because I don't see this relationship ever regaining the safety and trust needed, but he broke down crying and wants to try couples counseling and individual therapy. I also walked in on him kicking and punching our dog, which escalated into a fight of him holding me down while I cried. I don't want to continue this relationship and feel overwhelmed about how to navigate the divorce process while protecting myself. Has anyone been through something similar? Any advice on staying firm and moving forward would mean so much. Thank you. This is beyond counseling for you guys. He needs a psychological evaluation, but that's no longer your problem. Consult an attorney, reach out to family, and get away from him as soon as possible. He's escalating and this can get very dangerous for you. Don't hesitate to call the police and don't tell him you're going to. Get a safe distance away and then call. Document everything. If you can, stop sleeping in the same space with him. Hopefully, you have a friend or family you and your dog can go to. You need to leave now and take the dog with you. Get out, you and the dog are not safe with this abusive person. Please get you and that dog out of there. There is no other alternative advice than that from anyone including God. Be smart. Go. Search, your county domestic violence state's attorney's office, or your state legalaid.org. You need immediate legal assistance in the form of a protective order. Pack things while he is not home and there are domestic violence shelters or possible you have friends, family you can stay with. You are right to leave and I'm sorry you are with a partner you can no longer be safe around or trust. Gather your important documents, get your dog, get copies of bank and super statements, etc. Take half money from joint account, and leave. Open a bank account at totally different bank. Talk to a safe person, hopefully you have someone you can stay with. Mostly, stay safe. His choking you is a sign of very likely attempted murder. Treat this as it is, your life is in extreme danger. Oh no, sorry this is happening to you. Consult immediately with domviolence.org and follow their advice to keep yourself safe while making a speedy exit. You'll make it. Stand firm, do not for a nanosecond consider or accept any but all change or let's couple counseling bollocks. Be polite and try not alert him. Fake it till you make it out of there. Absolutely do not tell him or bring up divorce again, he might attack you. Stay safe. Target CO and best of luck. My 23M girlfriend 22F uses Red Dead Redemption horse dialogue while we're in bed. So, I 23M have been with my girlfriend 22F for a few years now. She's always been a massive fan of Red Dead Redemption 2. She watches lore videos all the time and talks about Arthur Morgan and John Marston like they're real people and will go on long rants about the morality of Dutch van der Linde. I never played the game myself, but I always enjoyed listening to her talk about it because she's so passionate about it. A few months ago, I decided I wanted to surprise her by secretly playing the game so I could finally understand all her references. I didn't tell her because I thought it'd be fun to just randomly start talking about it one day and see her reaction. But instead of just gaining a new appreciation for her favorite game, I've somehow uncovered something unexpected. See, for as long as we've been together, she's had this way of talking to me in bed. Soft, sweet, a little playful. I never really thought much about the exact words she used because, well, I was usually a little distracted. But now that I've put a few hours into RDR2, I've come to a horrible realization. Her sexy talk is literally just the dialogue Arthur uses when calming down his horse. I'm talking things like, "There you go boy," and "You alright boy?" She's told me, "You're okay, I got you," in the exact same reassuring tone Arthur uses when his horse gets spooked. Once, when I was on top, she actually whispered, "Easy, easy now," which I now recognize as something he says when your horse starts freaking out. She doesn't do a gruff cowboy voice or anything, she just says it in her usual, soft, affectionate tone, which is probably why I never connected the dots before and I'm not even sure it's intentional. But now, I can't unhear it. Every time she says something in bed, my brain immediately pictures Arthur patting his horse and calling it a good boy. I love her to death, but I don't know if I can go the rest of my life knowing I'm being pillowed talked like a damn horse. I have no idea what to do with this information. Do I tell her? Do I just live with it? Is this normal? I don't know if this is creative writing or actually real, but either way I'm laughing my ass off. Ain't no way this is real. Rage bait. You sir, are officially erect. Now I'm just thinking of all the possibilities. Lennnny. God damn it, Arthur. I have no advice, but I love this. Thank you. This is the best shit I've read all week long, LMAO. Get him BOAH. On the off chance this is real. That's weird as fuck, but at the same time I think it would be a pretty stupid thing to let torpedo your relationship if you love her to death. Have the awkward but grown-up conversation and tell her it's weird for you. And do not have that conversation during or immediately after sex. I, F21, am a housewife in training with a forever bachelor, M22. How can I gracefully exit? I, F21, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, M22, for nearly 2 years now. We have been living together for 9 months but have always spent a lot of time with each other. I do a lot of homely things like cooking dinner, cleaning the house and doing our laundry, which are all things that need to get done and I have seemingly allowed him not to worry about. I am a very busy person, internship, full-time student, club president and working part-time. So lately it has been a lot for me to juggle all of those things, so I asked for his help with a few tasks but nothing huge. He agreed to it initially, but after seeing it in practice, he began holding some kind of resentment towards me. I would also like to preface that we have had an ongoing struggle since the beginning of our relationship that boils down to the fact that he does not see any kind of future with me and I want to have a future with him, getting married, having kids, etc. He gives his justification for this that he doesn't ever think into the future and that if we are happy now, what is the problem? The problem for me is that I think I do a lot for us, including the housework and even his homework on several occasions, because I still keep in mind that I want a partnership. He also treats me like an idiot sometimes, but comes right back around to the kind sweetheart man I fell in love with. So I often brush his sudden outbursts under the rug and chalk it up to being solely my fault. I feel like that attitude has now come to bite me in the butt, as it may have conditioned him to believing that this was how a girlfriend acts. Now, he holds a lot of resentment towards me and has even told me that if I'm so unhappy with the way he treats me, then it seems to be a toxic situation for me and that I should consider breaking up with him. We are 3 months away from finishing our lease, so I don't really have the option to move out unless things get worse. I do still love him very, very much, but I am coming to realize how much I dislike the way I'm being treated if my patience and love has never been enough for him. Any advice or things for me to consider before I let this breakup mindset consume me? So you do all the work, he gets resentful at being asked to contribute, he doesn't even want a future with you and treats you like shit to the point where you blame yourself. Girl, what advice would you give your best friend or sister if she described being in a relationship like this? FFS, stop worrying about Grace and leave. 2 years of not being treated well and you're worried about Grace? The reason why it's continued is because you've turned into a doormat. Keep staying and it's going to get worse. Kind, sweetheart man. Nothing you have mentioned about him is kind or sweetheart-like. He treats you like a maid and an idiot and says he sees no future with you. Let the breakup mindset consume you. You do his homework? Do you also wipe his wee bum when he's done going potty like a big boy? You're not his partner, you're a single parent. Grace is more than he deserves. I'd go scorched earth and let his university know he's been falsifying his academics. I really wish girls were being brought up to demand better than this, and that boys were being brought up to be decent human beings. You don't need to exit gracefully. Just exit. The twat who thinks you're his bangmaid doesn't deserve grace. Don't renew the lease with him and move out. My 23M wife, 23F, is becoming Christian and I don't think I can live like this. I was raised very strict Christian. I knew it wasn't for me from a young age, but it was forced on me throughout childhood. My wife was raised more lenient Christian but expressed nearly zero interest in the 3 years we've been together until the past couple months. I don't know how to put this gently, but I want to rip my hair out every time she's watching Jesus TikToks, online service, gospel music, whatever. She said she's felt empty recently and that's why she's doing this. I want her to be fulfilled and happy in life, so it would be disrespectful for me to discourage it. I wish I could just say that's her business and I'll do mine, but quite frankly I do not see a future with a partner that believes that way, and that's heartbreaking because I love her very much, but if she continues down this path I don't see how we stay together. I don't even know how to bring up how much this bothers me without just seeming like a jerk. I don't know what boundaries to set if I was willing to make this work. I just feel like my marriage is over despite us otherwise having zero issues, and she doesn't know how much this is affecting me. Just the other day she thanked me for supporting her goals and I felt sick to my stomach. I know I need to be honest and have a discussion with her, but I don't want it to sound like I'm giving with her an ultimatum of me or Jesus. But that's exactly how it's going to sound. How do I begin this discussion? I've been almost avoiding her for a few days so I don't have to hear about that stuff, but I woke up this morning to her watching TikToks in bed and I just got up so I didn't have to hear it. This distance between us is not usual and I fear it will only grow. I need to address this soon, but how? I'm sorry if I sound intolerant. I really don't mean to be. I've had friends of all different religions and I respect everyone's thoughts, but I have never wanted a partner that seriously follows any religion for many reasons, including eventually children. Any guidance is appreciated. I don't have any relationship advice. I might think about having safe sex so that an unplanned pregnancy doesn't make your relationship more complicated. You just be honest and discuss the issue. Decide how or if your marriage can make it. Children will make it worse. You need the shared vision for your life. Better now than 5 years from now. It won't be a fun conversation, but it's necessary. It's a fork in the road of your life decisions. Religious trauma is definitely a thing. Have you talked to her about your upbringing and how this is making you feel? You don't have to give an ultimatum, but an open discussion about how you feel about all this seems to be in order. Your feelings regarding religion are valid. Sometimes people change and our paths diverge. No one is at fault, but we are no longer compatible. I would tell her plainly that religion has no place in your life and let her know that if she wants to go deeper into Christianity, then the two of you will simply be too different to stay together. Tell her that you want her to be free to pursue a life that is fulfilling to her, but that religion does not provide that to you. It's not an ultimatum. You're just pointing out that the two of you are at a fork in the road. Is she just listening to the TikToks, or is she forcing you to comply? I am agnostic, former Catholic, and my husband is name only Catholic, Christian, but he doesn't force his beliefs on me. I have religious trauma too. I actually didn't know that was a thing until now. We don't know how we are raising our kids yet, though. I don't think the marriage is beyond saving, but I would have a serious discussion on how you both would raise kids, etc. Do you have a therapist, counselor, or trusted friend you can use as a sounding board? If not, write out what you want to say. Let her know how triggering her actions are, and you don't want it to sound like an ultimatum, but you need to take care of you. This didn't come out of nowhere, and if she knows about how difficult your childhood was, she would not be doing this in your presence. You need to sit down and ask her where this is coming from. Feeling lost is pretty vague. Emo, someone or something has triggered this.